Hello and welcome to Woman to Woman. Thank you for joining us today and thank you for tuning in to I Will Live for JC. I'm TT, your host, and I have my co-host with me today. I have Shirley on the line, I have Boogie on the line, and we also have Felicia again with us today. How y'all doing, everybody?
Good. I'm good. How y'all doing? Great.
If you'd like to call in on the show and participate in the show today, you can. You can dial 530-881-1300. And the participation code is 165290. Today's topic we're going to talk about today is going to be conflict and intimacy. And this was Boogie raised kind of like this topic subject in one of our previous episodes where we can talk about intimacy a little bit since we were talking about conflict. As you all, everybody on our host panel today is married. So I know you all can relate where sometimes when I say this, that sometimes you don't feel like being intimate with the person you're with, especially if you're going through something, a conflict or an argument or something like that. Any disagreements there, panel?
No, not at all.
And so today we were going to talk a little bit more about that. I did find some information about intimacy online, and even though most of the time when you think of intimacy, you think of what? First word. Sex. Exactly. That's one of the first things you tend to think of when we talk about intimacy. But intimacy also, it has a broader definition than just sex. Even though in today's society we've kind of centered it around sex only, but it involves a physical, a social, emotional, mental, and spiritual components that enhance the feeling of togetherness between a romantic couple, and that's considered part of intimacy. And a lot of times we don't think of the social, emotional, mental, or any type of spiritual aspects of that. According to Steinberg's theory of love, intimacy includes emotional bonding and feelings of connectedness. And Steinberg suggests that intimacy develops during the course of a relationship and will usually include decision of loyalty to the relationship. And that intimacy has also become conceptualized as a sense of self-disclosure, sharing of oneself, and feeling closer to one's partner. Panel. As far as the statement that involves relationship will usually include decisions of loyalty to the relationship, what are your feelings on that, and do you agree with that? Anyone?
Oh, I know if you asked a specific person. Yeah, I mean, it matters. I mean, the loyalty, if the loyalty is not there, you don't want to talk to them, you don't trust them. I mean, you just kind of keep to yourself. It just happens that way, you know.
And I do.
And it trickles over to a bedroom where you just don't want them to touch you. If you feel like you can't trust the person that you're with, and that's not just, when I say trust, it doesn't just have to deal with cheating or whatever. It's like trust them all around, where you can trust them with telling them how you feel, or telling them about your day, or just telling them things that, you know, that you're feeling or that you're thinking. You know, and they kind of, you know, their responses to those thoughts, things like that, it kind of, he leaves you a little uneasy and a little bad taste in your mouth, and you don't want to talk to them, and then eventually you don't want them to touch you, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like if you don't feel really connected or involved deeply with another person, then it's kind of hard to sit and talk about your intimate thoughts and feelings about your feelings and emotion to someone you feel like is not loyal to the relationship, who doesn't really, or is not really concerned with how you're feeling as a person or how you're being connected to be able to share together as a couple. How about you, Shirley?
still thinking of that because I had to make sure I said the right thing. So come back to me in a minute. Let me get my thoughts together.
Felicia, you have anything you want to add?
No.
All right.
Can you read that again for me?
Well, Steinberg suggests that intimacy develops during the course of the relationship, and it usually includes a decision of loyalty to the relationship. And I was trying to see your thoughts on how you feel that the decision of loyalty to the relationship, if you feel like that is threatened, how your concept of intimacy is tied into that.
I think like we said, when we first start off with intimacy, it is related to sex. But then the more as the years go by, depending on, if you're still with the person, loyalty do come into play because really, if we all be honest, we don't have any loyalty in the beginning because, you know little about the person unless you've, been with them for a long time anyway. But I think loyalty comes from over time. You're more loyal as time goes on because you've gone through different things. So your loyalty is to the relationship itself, I agree with that.
And you said
then intimacy goes more, it turns into more than just sex as the years go by because you learn to appreciate that person. It's little things about that person that you just love. It's not just the sex. You know what I'm saying? So, I love when he does that. He is so cute when he does that. Or, just little things that they might, say. So it's just stuff like that you appreciate, So in the beginning, I really think it is about pretty much kind of about sex, unless you have saved yourself, of course, unless you practice celibacy. But loyalty does come in over time, I think. It grows.
And you made some good points in that because building a relationship and that growing process where you sit down and talk and communicate with one another and get to know one another and start to bond and have fun together and spend time together, that's all a part of building intimacy and maintaining intimacy because you're more susceptible to open up and to share when you're both bonding and participating in that, socially, emotionally, and mentally. When you're coming together on the same page and you're joining each other's company. And I think that falls into, too, is what we were saying, how intimacy makes up those things because you go through that process trying to feel out that individual. When you're courting or you're dating, you have to be social in order to get to know that person. So from reading that definition of being social and emotional and mental, I do see that process when you're starting to date and you get to know one another. That social part is being intimate. It's how you get to know one another. And then by getting to know one another, you get emotional attachment to another person. And then when you get that attachment, then your mind mentally is in a state of, okay, I can trust this person. I can rely on this person with some intimate details of my life. I can open up to this person and share more. And I think that I can see that now, how that ties into our topic today about intimacy. Shirley, did you have anything you want to share and add to that?
No, I agree with what both Boogie and Felicia said, and you as well, because I just think that when you're dating someone, or even when you get past the dating stage and you get married, during that process, if you grow together and you take the time to learn what he or she likes, then you do become loyal to them because you want to make sure that person is always, happy with the things that you do. And then if something happens in a negative way, you still know how to talk about it and you continue to grow. So I feel like growth has a whole lot to do with it, and then the loyalty comes because it's like, you're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do whatever I need to do to keep things right, whatever it is. Ride or die is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I can see that. I can see it. I think it's so many different components. It depends on the individual, the maturity level, their spiritual level, where they are, period, as to how they can even function with someone else.
Right.
Okay. Felicia made a point, and she said something when she said over time then you grow to be able to trust that person, and it changes. The relationship changes, it grows, and so forth. But my question is, okay, if you're with this person and they haven't changed, or you see that they're not in your corner over time, every time something goes on, they kind of turn their back on you or leave you hanging, but they expect you to be intimate and be affectionate towards them. How do you do that if that person hasn't been there for you, or they turn their back on you, or they kind of dog you when you need them the most, or even when you just need them just a little bit, you can't depend on them? How does that change with how can you do anything about affection or intimacy then?
That's a hard question.
They're saying that in that type of situation where it poses a challenge for couples when there's an unmet intimacy or an expectation of that therapists go the route of trying to deal with that by helping the clients develop trust and communication skills to overcome the barriers to intimacy. But it becomes very difficult when you have one person who is not willing to make the necessary effort to make it work.
Yeah.
And that really puts a tough situation, especially if you're trying to grow together and you're trying to keep your relationship together, and especially if you're trying to do things on a biblical term. How Jesus was able to, love unconditionally, and you try to do that as a human being. Granted, we're all not perfect, and you try to do the right thing and try to do this, but it can be hard to put those feelings aside to battle through the mental battle and the struggle and the spiritual battle of trying to keep this connection going with a person who is not trying to work in this area to help bring a godly solution to the problem.
When I first got married, my husband, he really didn't grow up, showing affection and emotions, hugging and all like that. And so I was just like, oh, he don't show me this, you don't show me that, blah, blah, blah. So, so I got busted by the Holy Spirit. And I'm just saying this because, I had to take a look at myself, and I had to just say, okay, what am I doing? Am I doing everything that I need to be doing, for him just to show him? Because some people, you have to show them, because if, you know a lot about your spouse, but you may not know everything. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, you may not know them deep things that cause them to not to trust or not to show affection.
Exactly.
And so what I had to do was just understand his background, understand what he, what kind of environment he came from. His parents loved him, don't get me wrong. They, it's just that, some families don't grow up just showing that affection. If they work or if they put food on the table, they, you got clothes, that's love, So when we were together, I showed him how to, show affection, on the outside. And eventually it was like one day, God just really just turned things around, and he's that affectionate person. I'm just, just kind of out the blue. I mean, it was a lot that, we dealt with on that level. I mean, granted, we haven't been married long. We've just been married 16 years, but still within that amount of time.
That's not long.
Well, not long. When you think about people that have been married for like 30 and 40 years.
16 years is a long time. I'm sorry.
It is. It's a good stretch. I mean, so even when, we have arguments, we just had an argument, yesterday, and, it's like somebody got to bow down, So I just went and gave him a hug, and then that was it, But it's just, you just kind of understand the background of the person. Make sure you're doing what you need to do. Make sure you're in check. And, you just never know. I just stopped thinking about the negative about him and how, because what happens is you start comparing them to other people. You know what I'm saying? That really doesn't help. Because I know, trust me. And I'm not saying, you're not. I'm just saying that, just make sure that looking. That's why, we have to do investigation before we marry somebody.
You know what? I wish I had pulled out an application or something.
And I know my husband probably thought that too.
I should have got the CIA involved.
But seriously, you just gotta think why they like this, and sometimes you have to sit down and have that real talk.
But is it your fault if they're like that?
I ain't gonna say it's I'm not gonna say it's your fault. I'm definitely not gonna say it's your fault, but I would say it is my fault if I continue to highlight the negative and just not, kind of go on. You know what I'm saying? It's my fault if I choose whatever I choose to do. If it's not going to help my situation, then that's my fault. Certainly not your fault that the person is like that. But you never, I know it's rough when you trust me. I know it's rough. I know it's rough.
Felicia, let me ask you this now. This is a big question, and a lot of the audience may have this question. How do you deal with if you are the person who's having the unmet, intimacy, or the person is being shut down or what have you? If you're on the lower end of the stick on the relationship side, how does that? Let's impute that and talk about sex. The sex shut down for a minute. Mm-hmm. Is it right? I know you might not feel like having sex, but is it right to shut off sex because you don't feel like having it because of the issues?
No, it ain't right. Let me quit tripping. And we do it, but that don't make it right. Now, it depends on what your belief is now, because women tend to do that more so than men. It's like, I'm cutting you off.
You really think so?
Say what now?
You really think so?
I said more. They tend to more so.
Oh, okay.
They tend to more so. It depends, but if we all can agree seriously that normally we just hear about women doing that, but yeah, but the Bible say if you're gonna shut it off, y'all need to be in agreement so that you won't be tempted. And so, is it right? I'm not gonna say it is right, to just be like I'm cutting them off. But it's hard when you don't have any emotions, when you don't want to, when you have issues that's crowding your, mentally, that's crowding you so that you can't get to the physical and intimate part of it. It's definitely harder.
And I totally agree with that. And women tend to, as more emotional beings, we tend to hold on to stuff a lot more and keep that stuff in the front, our front minds as we're doing our other daily things throughout the day, and it can affect us, when it comes down to any type of sexual involvement, because the first thing is on our mind is how we feel and what we've been through and the distress or whatever else. So, right. Shirley and Boogie, you both, either of you have a comment on that?
Well, I think women, y'all, I hate to say it. See, I said y'all, and three of y'all on the phone, it's just me. I say, okay, forget it, I don't care. Women, y'all tend to take on other stuff that has nothing to do with the house and bring that stuff home. Like, y'all can take on a conversation with y'all homegirls, y'all mom, y'all grandma, homegirls at work, and y'all bring all that crap home. And then the next thing you know, we sitting there going, what's wrong with her?
What happened?
Well, forget it. Well, and after a while, we go, well, forget her. I go in here and watch TV. And then we don't want to talk to you because you got an attitude because you done brought all that crap from your homegirls. See, us as fellas, we can talk to our homeboys all day long, and they can tell us all the issues about all the bad stuff that's going on in life. And we'll hit the door and go, oh, well. Yeah, we good.
I disagree with that.
I was going to say, it depends on what y'all griping about now.
Thank you, because my husband has come home on immediate days with an attitude, and I'd be like, dang, who are you? So that goes both ways. So
Well, he probably brings work home. I'm talking about all the other emotional stuff. I'm talking about all the emotional stuff.
So when you come home and you hit that front door or that back door, however you come into your house, you leave that crap back there. Because when you come in, my husband used to get mad at me because when he would come home, I would be on the phone talking to whoever or whatever about whatever, and he'd be like, "I'm here." I'm like, And so I had to stop and realize, okay, my husband's home. Let me get out this phone and devote my attention to attention to him now. And when I did that, it really did make a difference. But there are times, he'll come home and I'll be mad because of something that happened at work. And I would bring it, I'd be like, ooh, and I had to catch myself again. So it's not just women, it's also men.
Now, come on now, but I'm just saying, if you out with your fellas and he was talking about, oh, my girl, she was out late and with her friends and some dude. Now, if your wife wanted to go out, you can't tell me in the back of your mind if she come back late and you just happen to see an unknown number. You cannot tell me. You're not going to come back, like, questioning that, like, when your boy come back. Now, it may not affect the intimacy part, but you still have some kind of, in the back of your mind, you're probably wondering.
Yeah.
To some point, it may not come out as drastic as a woman, but it'll come out.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
And I tend to bring some stuff home, and I tell you, I can go through stuff at work, and you know why I can't tend to want to wait till I get home and kind of want to talk about it? Because I feel like I can share it with you. I might can't tell it to my other girlfriend because she might have too much mouth or whatever, or business everywhere, but I might can share it with you, and I know it ain't going to go no further, and I can let it out, and then you can tell me what you would have done or thought or said or whatever, and then I can let it go.
Yeah.
I can let it go. But I might have to let it out to be able to get that emotional release so I can move past that. And I might can't do that at work.
Right, and you should be able to do that with your spouse. Keyword should be, but not everybody can do that. Because sometimes, your spouse is not going to know how to respond, but just to listen, so you can vent it out makes a difference.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just don't know what to say. You be like, hey, what would I do? Because I do that all the time. Be like, dang, how would I handle that? But then, me being who I am, you may not want to know how I would handle it, because baby, I get crunk with mine.
Tasha Mack, everybody can't pow.
Shit.
That's not solution to everybody's problem.
But you also need to be careful who you talk to again, because you don't know, they might be waiting for entrance, married or not.
Oh, yeah.
Married or not.
I know something else you can't do. You can't get on the phone and call 1-800.
Choke that hoe.
1-800.
And something else you can't do.
Choke that hoe.
No, you can't do
Something
that.
else you can't do. You also can't be married and have a lot of single friends, and then and bring your single friends to a situation, because when your single people hear you having a problem at home, best believe they still trying to figure out how they gonna get your man. Because I've seen it happen too many times.
You think so?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Certain
I
people,
wasn't married, but I had a friend like that did that. And me and the guy wasn't, dating anymore, but still, we used to talk about him. And next thing I know, they was a couple.
Oh.
Yeah, I know a couple of. I know one young lady. She's a real, good-hearted person, or whatever. And she had a husband, and there's, a child involved. Well, because all her friends were single and had kids and had houses, she wanted to be in that same category, so she messed up her relationship with her man, who paid the bills and did question stuff. And so, it's like, okay, why would you give up a good thing to go be single and look stupid like them? Now they all in the I don't have a man club. You have to watch who you hang out with.
Is she happy now? Is she happy now? Do you know?
I would say no.
That's her fault.
Well,
So it's just a lot we have to look out for.
Boy, that was poor judgment on her part.
Yeah,
you're right. I mean, really?
Really?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think we got all off the subject on TT. We got off.
No, we're good. We're good.
Well, no, I think we're still on the same subject. I think we're talking about conflict and intimacy. All this stuff revolves around that. I mean, it does, because all this stuff is called conflict. It is. I mean, we got conflict from everywhere. You never know. You got conflict on,
And are we really being loyal? You have the one or two friends you confide in, but are we really being loyal to our relationship when we just tell it all the time?
Yeah.
You need to be discreet. And that's hard for me, because it's not that I just want to tell people, but I'm a trusting person. So when I befriend somebody, you know what I'm saying, you get to talking, But it's like you need to be discreet sometimes,
Yeah.
because folk will turn that back on you.
And
Oh,
then
they sure will.
and then your spouse will be looking like, why you tell them all the business? And then they kind of upset because you told all the business. Don't you know how to shut your mouth? You tell all the business. Why she know about that? You know what I'm saying?
You're like, I just got out of an argument. Now we back in another one.
Yeah. Why she know about the
Yeah.
vibrator in the
Sometimes
closet?
you need advice.
I've heard it happen.
What? Are you serious?
Tell too much stuff to your girlfriends. They do not need to know about that. Yeah. But it also says that when a person needs or wants something badly enough, the other person is unwilling or unable to meet that need, then resentment will often grow. And that is a very true statement.
Yeah, that's true.
Eight to the man.
And then added on
Eight
to
to
that,
man.
the power of an unruly tongue, and the situation becomes even more destructive form of conflict.
Discreetness. That's where that comes in.
So, it also says that conflict can cause psychological pain that manifests in withdrawal, distance, depression, anxiety, or aggression. Not only between a couple, but also with those who are living around them. That can mean your kids as well. So it can affect not only just that couple, but the whole household gets affected from that.
I agree.
That's what turmoil does. It does. If there's a problem with the main people, it trickles down because the attitude and the atmosphere changes. So, yeah, it's going to affect everybody.
Now, the article also says that you can get some constructive outcomes out of conflict. And it says people who continue to relate to one another despite of their conflict may build greater trust and confidence in each other to become more apt in their ability to resolve their problems. But you got to get through that, being able to still relate to one another despite the conflict.
Well,
But
some people want to be babied. They want to be babied. They want, they want to always feel like they're right. So, it's okay. Don't worry about it. You right. And you can't. You can't relate to somebody that if you're trying to be an adult and they want to be a baby. How do you do that? How do you do that?
Yeah, or if they like to be in conflict all the time, they just like conflict.
Oh,
They
I
just
hate
like
that.
drama. Oh my Lord.
Or a debate. Everything got to be a debate.
Choke that hoe.
I need you to get that out of your speech because I don't want you to be getting on the phone talking about I almost choked that last night.
I'm going to play a little bit of a clip by Jimmy Evans, and we're going to come back to our discussion a little bit more. So, here we go.
But it doesn't count. And you're saying, listen, we have been watching TV all week together. What do you want? The only thing that counts is activities where we participate together without distraction. That's the only thing that counts. Going to a baseball game, you interact at a baseball game. You talk at a baseball game. Anything that you do, walking, canoeing, motorcycle riding, mountain climbing, anything that you do that your partners together, it greatly enhances your marriage. But there's a difference between men and women. And I want you to listen to this now because this is part of the problem. The difference between men and women. Men are much more likely to call their wives their best friend than their wives are their husbands. Do you know that? That's an interesting thing. And it's because it's one of our deepest needs. One of a man's deepest needs is for his wife to be his friend and not his mother. Huge. It emasculates the man. It frustrates us. We don't want to be mothered. We were mothered for a long time. And now we don't want that anymore. We want a buddy. We want someone who hangs out with us. Men want a woman. This is what they're saying in this research now. Men want a wife that just hangs out with them and does the fun things that they want to do. Okay, and men, this is another difference in us. About anything is a date. Well, just anything's a date. Is dress the way we are, walking out the door and just going to do just about anything. That's a date. Women are different. Women want conversation and meaningful interaction. Okay, when you're talking about going somewhere, in other words, man fun is what I just described. Woman fun is different. Women want to talk. Okay. And just going and shooting something and coming back, that's not... It just doesn't do it for them. And And they don't consider it a date unless there's considerable effort involved. Okay, so let me talk to men and women just because it's an unchangeable reality. We're just different. Let me talk about men and women and what we need to understand. Women need to understand that men open up when they're having fun. And a lot of women, they want their husbands to open up. There's 2 times that your husband, I'm just saying, write it down. And I'm going to pick on your husbands in just a minute. Don't get mad at me. But listen, 2 times that he will be most emotionally vulnerable with you. When he's having fun and right after sex. Okay? That's when men become vulnerable. So a lot of times women are wanting their husbands, why don't you ever open up and talk with me? Why don't you talk with me the way you talk with my friends? And they say, well, they're my friends. I have fun with them. And when men are very emotionally modest, we're not like women. Women are very emotionally immodest. They will talk to anybody about anything. Just watch Oprah. That's what, it's just everything's on the table. Men are very, very guarded. And I'm not going to open up to you until I'm convinced that you like me. And that you're my friend. And so that's it. Here's what men need to understand. Women need planning. They need effort. In fact, that's what a woman considers to be romantic. You planned it and you went to a lot of trouble. It's just, I don't want to go jump in your pickup and go driving. I've done that for a month, and I want something better than that. And she's interested in the real you. And at some time in an activity with her that she's going to have fun doing, there has to be some face-to-face.
All right. It touched on a lot of points in there. First of all, let me ask you this, Boogie. You still there, Boogie?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. He mentioned that men want a best friend, not a mama. And that's true for the most part, I would think. But from a man's point of perspective, what do you say about that?
For me, I don't want to. I had a mom. I don't want another mom. I don't want you, trying to tell me what to do and how to do it, how to dress. I know all that. I like constructive criticism. If I'm wearing something, if I'm wearing blue shirts or brown pants and it doesn't match, then let me know that. But it's the way you talk to me. I don't need you to talk at me or talk down to me. That it pisses me off. So yeah, I would rather have a best friend than have a mom.
Now,
really,
are
someone
men?
that's not always nagging and complaining and you don't do this, you're not doing that, you're not doing it exactly like I said. That's a turn off.
Now, he also indicated that men are most vulnerable when they're having fun and right after sex. How true is that from a male perspective?
Having fun, yeah. When I'm having fun, I'm loose and feeling good, and you can talk to me about anything. As far as the sex part, I don't know about that one. I don't know if I can answer that question. I don't really talk too much after that. I want to go to sleep.
Ladies, let me ask you this question: do you feel they're more vulnerable, that you can talk and do everything else? The most opportune time is either right after sex or when they're having fun.
I'm going to go with the having fun part. Because when you're having fun, then it's just easier, to have a conversation because the attitude is good. After the other part, they going to sleep.
If you laid it down right, yeah they're going.
They going to sleep.
Oh.
Well, I think that's true because women, we tend to want to, let's sit down and, let's have a talk. When we say, we need to talk, I think the man shuts down right then. He's like, oh, Lord, I know this is something crazy she's about to say. But
that's not always true.
I think for the most part it is for a woman.
It's like a cuss word sometimes.
For the most part, women, when we say we need to, open up, we're in a serious mode, because we're getting in touch with our feelings. Where a man, he's just, in a different environment, he opens up. At first, I was like, nah, I don't think so. But then when he explained, I was like, yeah, that's kind of true because, you know, I don't know, that's just me. You know, women, we tend to be more serious when we getting in touch with our inner self. You know what I'm saying? When we want to talk about our feelings and, you know, open up. But a man, I think they're kind of opposite.
I tend to agree with that. Well, in my situation with that statement, it is easier to talk, to have a conversation where everybody's having, or he's having a good time. You know, he's more open to listen to what I'm saying and stuff like that, unless it's something on TV and he's distracted by the TV. And cuddle time, right after sex, cuddle time is a good time to bring up some stuff because he's wide listening, got stuff to say, give me feedback. I got his full attention. Full attention at that time. Any other time it's kind of hard to get the full attention. It's got something else going on, easily a distraction. But that time, I can talk, I can get feedback, ask a question, get an answer, and everything. And so, now another point, ladies, that he said that I thought was good was planning, and how ladies like that and think that's very romantic. I agree with that. What you guys think, or girls?
I agree.
Because they plan, they put a lot of thought into it. You know, they plan stuff. It's like, wow, they made a effort to make it special, whatever they want it to do. You know, whatever they got planned.
I have a question when you finish.
Go ahead.
Do anybody feel like men, like when they are really in the mood and it's, you know how you have those days that go by, you know, and then, you know, you like, it builds up, you know, so you in the mood. Do men tend to be more understanding and more, you know, attentive, like when they trying to get some and then after they get it, it's just like...
I would have
that's just a natural reaction for us.
I think that's a Jekyll and Hyde.
I would have to agree with you, Felicia. Let me tell you.
You know what? I'm getting off your phone. Is this a male bashing type of thing?
It's not male bashing. Now, see, didn't nobody say nothing when you was talking about the female, so you got to give us our respect.
This is not the Lifetime channel. I don't want nobody. I don't want any men getting killed on here.
No, but listen. No, don't be trying to hang out. But listen, I have noticed this, Felicia. When he is extra attentive. Oh yeah, he's building that up. I agree with you, girl, 100%.
I'm just like, is it just me? I'm like, man, you a totally different person. It's like before.
No, you women, y'all are just the same. When y'all want something, y'all are extra specially nice. When y'all want a new purse, new clothes, y'all want this.
If we crazy, we crazy regardless. We crazy with you.
No, you're not. You nice. You just all lovey-dovey. Oh, baby, can I get that for you? Can I make a play for you? All this stuff, and then as soon as you get it.
I don't agree with that.
Girl, I got this new purse. I'm going to go out. Get this new purse.
That ain't me.
I think that's a special circumstance, but the reality.
Because if I want something, I'll be like, look here. I'm going to ask you, I'm going to suggest to you what I want to do, and you either agree or you don't agree. I don't play up that. No, that's being fake.
And I'm not saying play. I'm just saying because men are not, you know, it's like they're not really affectionate. They're not like that. But it's just like before when they really, you know, it's like, oh, they want to hold hand. It's just like, they just real lovey-dovey. And then...
That's their form of intimacy, though. That's a form of intimacy because they're building up.
Yeah, I guess so. But
to the big game.
It just seemed like afterwards they're like, what? Did you do that? What? Look at this bill, you know?
I know, right?
That bill was there before.
No, you just got played. No, stop. No. See, they know how to work it because they know women need that build up or that intimacy beforehand. Men can detach their emotions from sex easily. Sex don't have nothing to do with how you feel, what's going on in there. We could be poor, broke, living outside, and they still be horny. You know what I'm saying? You
I agree
know,
with that one.
don't
I
know
agree
what's
with
gonna
that
get
one. I
paid and
agree.
still want some. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know about that. I'm different because when my bills are due, it's kind of hard for me. I don't know.
He was like, "Well, shoot, I ain't nothing I can do about that right now. Let me get me some. I can control it."
I don't know. I'm real funny about my money.
You gotta get his mind right first. Hold up, wait a minute. Let me make some adjustments.
But just think of how this
If I don't get the big piece of chicken, I'm mad. So I don't care.
If you what?
I don't get the big piece of chicken.
Oh, Lord. We got a Julius on the phone.
But think about how different it would be if they didn't do that at all, and just turn around, I want some, you know, and then you really like, you know, that's even worse.
Yeah, what?
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, I'm just saying, like, not like, oh, I'm just saying, it's just different. Mentally, it's just different.
In a way, it kind of leaves you with
before.
this used feeling. In a way, it's like, you just played me. I just got played, and I fell for it. But at the same time, that's the only way I can get it out of you. You know,
funny.
get the intimacy feeling like I'm worth something. I mean, that. Well, at least I did get a little bit.
Yeah. I
Wow,
just find it funny. It's just funny.
This just turned into something that I...
Oh, no, it did not. No, it did not. 'Cause we've been talking about what women do, so don't even try it.
I just don't... You know what? I'm getting off this phone. I don't feel safe.
What you mean you don't feel safe? What you trying to
I
say?
feel like... I don't feel safe right now.
Oh,
Why?
Lord.
You know what,
I don't know, I
Steve?
just don't.
Well, I think you need to just move that feeling to the side because it ain't even about you. We just having a general conversation. And you need to suck it up.
And you know what they say, don't
What?
you? A hit dog a holler. Now, Boogie, now I'm just saying.
Uh-huh.
A hit dog a holler now.
Have to get some more brothers up on the phone. You know what? I'm gonna give me an old white man, get him on the phone. Let's talk.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord. No, he didn't.
I gotta try to get you some
Let
more
me tell you.
brothers.
What we need to do, and I'm going to see if I can help him get this done, TT, his barber, oh, my God. Y'all, his barber, can you get Spencer to come on one of these days?
I'll see what I can do. I'll talk to you.
Yeah, I
what?
believe
Tomorrow.
you.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
You think you need some reinforcement, go ahead. Just know that we do outnumber you, and we will always outnumber you.
We'll see.
And you will lose that argument every time.
See, now we're back to confrontation.
Dang, Shirley.
Get our confrontation. See how women get confrontation. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Calm down, Shirley. Calm down, Shirley.
Secure. I'm not having no fun, so I'm not horny, man. That's what I'm
That is funny.
But you know I'm just playing, man. He's so sensitive.
So sensitive.
You know I got. If I don't message you, you know something wrong. But yeah, but I would like you to get Spencer on here because maybe we need to get a different type of male perspective. You know, we don't want you to feel unsafe or anything.
Yeah, we don't want to lose Boogie.
No, he ain't going nowhere, girl. I'll go to his house. Don't play.
You talking about conflict? See, this is all got a problem. Y'all got this all in y'all mind. I'm gonna handle it. I'm gonna handle it.
Well, really,
y'all want to jump on?
I'm coming to your house.
you all right,
Yeah.
Boogie? You the man. You the man. You all right, Boogie? You all right, Boogie? We're coming down to the end of the show
All
today,
it
anyway.
is a big old teddy bear. That's all. He ain't gonna do nothing. He just talking.
Well, I like.
Mind you, that's what I'm talking at.
Well, I like to thank the people who tuned into the show today. Thank you for listening into the show, and we hope you come back next Wednesday for Woman to Woman. And remember to be a blessing in someone's life today, and let God use you. Be blessed.